In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Color by Code group in the Create tab of the Timesavers add-in. The Color by Code group allows you to quickly and easily add codes to a Color by Code template. Please note that the add-in does not create the template for you. You need to have the template already, and then the add-in will help you to add your codes to that template. So what I've done is I've already started off by inserting my template. I recommend starting with the color version because it makes it easier for you to work with. And I've also put in shapes and sized and positioned them the way that I want them for the codes to go into my template, for where I want them to be in the template. Okay, so once I've got that all ready, I'm now going to go over here and click on Add Table. And it puts in a table where I will be able to go and add all of my codes. So I'm going to be using, in this example, number bonds for the numbers 4 to 10. So I'm going to call these columns the numbers 4 to 10. Instead of calling them red, yellow, blue, whatever, it makes it easier for me when I'm adding my codes to know what the column is for. So I'm going to have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. You can obviously, if you want to, put in the colors if you want over there, but I just prefer to do it this way. And then we just need to remove those. You don't have to, but it just makes it easier if I can put this a bit closer over here. Then once I've done that, I'm going to go and add all of my math problems for the number bonds. Now I've already typed them into Excel over here, so I'm just going to copy that and come and paste it in over here to make it quick and easy. You could obviously just type it straight in here if you want to. I'm just doing this to make it quicker for the video. Okay, so now that I've got all of that ready, I need to tell the add-in where to put all of those. So now I'm going to do that based on the colors. So I'm going to go over here and select all of the shapes that are in the white spaces, and I'm going to turn those into placeholders for the number 4. And I'm doing the number 4 first because there are only a few of those and they are the least white spaces. Okay, now if I had not selected anything when I clicked on this Add Placeholder button, it would just add generic placeholders for each of the different columns, which you could then duplicate and format and resize and position how you want them to be for your Color by Code. But I prefer to do it this way, where I've already added my shapes like this, and I can just select them and add my placeholder to where they already are. Okay, so now I've got the ones for white. Now I'm going to go and do the number 5s in the blue sections or spaces. So I'm going to select all of the placeholders or all of the shapes in the blue spaces and click Add to Placeholder or Add Placeholder and choose 5. Then I'm going to go and do the same thing for 6, but this time I'm going to be doing all the purple ones. Okay, so add placeholder, that's 6. Then next I'm going to do red. Add placeholder and make that number 7. Then next I'm going to do green. Add placeholder and that'll be 8. Then I'm going to do pink. Add placeholder and that will be 9. And then finally I'm going to do yellow. Just make sure that you don't select the template, because then it's going to turn the template into a placeholder. So that's why if I accidentally select it, I deselect it again. Okay, so I'm going to turn that into my placeholder for number 10 over there. Okay, so now we're just going to check that there aren't any that don't have a number in them. Make sure that I did actually turn all of the shapes into placeholders. And once I've done that, I just go over here and click Create, and it will automatically shuffle all of the items that I had in the different columns and add them to the relevant spaces over here. Also note that if I'm doing text, it automatically makes the shapes, the placeholders, transparent and takes away the line. So over here I had white with a black outline so that I could easily see where the shapes were, but when it turned into an activity where replacing those placeholders with the text, all of that is changed to transparent like that, so that it goes straight over the color like this. If you don't want it to be like that, you can just go and select all of those and change them to have a white background again if you want to. It only does that for text. If you're putting in pictures, then the picture will be as it's supposed to be. So if the picture is transparent, the picture will be transparent. If the picture is a solid color, and then it will be a solid color, and so on. Okay. Now, once you've created your first one, you can go and reuse this template again for future color by codes by just changing the data that you have in the table. So in this case, I'm going to go and create a new one, and I'm going to be using subitizing dots instead. So I'm going to go over here, and this time I'm going to be doing pictures. So I'm going to go and use this button over here, add to column, which is select number 4, and I'm just going to go and find my pictures that I have with the subitizing dots for number 4, and I insert those. Then I'm going to go and do the same thing for number 5. And so on. Okay, now just so that you're aware, you can also use other shapes. It doesn't have to be pictures that you select from a file or folder like that. You can also have pictures that you've already inserted, and even if they're bigger or different sizes, you can just have them selected, click on add to column and choose a column, and they will be added automatically. And like I said, it doesn't even have to be pictures. It can be other kinds of shapes as well. Shapes with text, it can be groups, whatever. And they will be resized and put into those cells in the table like that. Once I've done that, I can then go and click on the create button again, and a new color by code will be created with the new data that I have added over here. So in this case, I've got my subitizing dots, whereas here I had my number bond math problems. Now over here, once you've created it, you can then go and create a duplicate, and for one of them you can replace that with the black and white one. So over here now I've got the version that a student would color in, and I can do the same thing for my number bonds one here as well. So I need to go and replace that with the black and white one, and once again, that's the version that the student would color in. And that is how you use the color by code group in the create tab of the Time Savers add-in. I hope that has been helpful, and I hope that you have a fantastic day. Thank you. Goodbye.